You watch her. She's a garden you've decided not to water. You think it's a game of control, a test of her strength. You are wrong. This isn't a test, it's an erosion, a slow, deliberate dismantling of a person piece by piece, from the inside out. At first, she won't understand. She will search for the fault within herself. Was it something she said, something she did? Her mind becomes a labyrinth of self-doubt. Every memory is re-examined, every word replayed, searching for the key to your approval. This is the first stage, confusion. It's a fog that you've deliberately rolled in. She can no longer see the shoreline of her own self-worth. Next comes the craving. The human psyche abhors a vacuum. When genuine validation is removed, a desperate hunger takes its place. She will start doing anything for a morsel of your attention. A kind word, a simple nod. It becomes her drug, and you are the sole dealer. This is not an accident. This is the psychology of intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle that makes gambling so addictive. You give her just enough to keep her playing. A moment of warmth, followed by a week of cold. The inconsistency is the hook. It rewires her brain to seek the reward with frantic intensity. Her personality begins to change. The vibrant, confident woman you met starts to fade. In her place is a ghost, an echo, constantly checking your expression for a sign. Her voice becomes smaller. Her opinions, once strong, are now prefaced with maybe and I don't know. She is editing herself in real time to be more palatable to you. This is the creation of dependency. By becoming the sole source of her self-worth, you make her world dangerously small. Your approval is the sun. Everything else is cold, empty space. Let's call them Silas and Ilara. When they met, Ilara was a whirlwind. She painted, she argued about philosophy, she laughed from her gut. She was an entire universe of her own. Silas was drawn to that fire, but he didn't want to stand by it. He wanted to own it, to control its flame. It started subtly. She'd show him a new painting, her heart full of pride. He would glance at it and say, "It's nice. The blue is a bit much, though." The praise was always poisoned with a tiny drop of criticism, just enough to make it sour, just enough to make her try harder next time. When she got a promotion at work, she called him ecstatic. He listened, then said, "That's great, so I guess you'll be even busier now." The celebration was instantly deflated. He wasn't validating her success. He was reframing it as an inconvenience to him. Her world was being subtly taught to revolve around his. When she was sad, needing comfort, he would become a statue. He wouldn't argue, he would just be absent. A cold presence in the room. This silence is a weapon. It's called stonewalling. It communicates that her feelings are not just invalid, they are an annoyance, unworthy of a response. The emotional starvation has now reached a critical stage. She is malnourished, her soul is gaunt. She starts to believe the narrative you've created, that she is difficult, too sensitive, too much. She becomes a puppet. Her strings are your moods. She dances when you are pleased, freezes when you are not. Her own feelings are locked away in a box, too dangerous to feel. This is the endgame of emotional starvation, the complete colonization of another person's psyche. It is not love. It is the most intimate form of conquest, but sometimes there is a glitch in the programming, a moment of clarity, a crack in the prison wall. For Ilara, it was a friend, an old friend who hadn't seen her in years. She looked at Ilara past the carefully constructed facade and asked a simple question. "Where did you go?" The question didn't compute at first. She was right there, but the friend repeated it, her gaze unwavering. "The real you, the one who burned so brightly, where did she go?" And in that moment, the dam broke. The years of suppressed feelings, of invalidated truths came rushing forth. It was a hurricane of grief for the person she had allowed herself to lose. This is the unveiling. The realization that the famine was artificial. The well of validation was not dry. It was deliberately capped. You were not unable to give. You were unwilling. The truth is a brutal but liberating thing. It's not that she wasn't good enough to earn your validation. It's that her dependence was more valuable to you than her happiness. When a woman is starved of emotional validation, one of two things happens. She either withers into a shadow of herself, a permanent ghost in her own life, or she wakes up. She realizes she has been dining on poison and forces herself to vomit it out. She chooses to starve rather than eat what you serve. This awakening is violent. It's a rebirth through fire. She has to unlearn the instinct to seek your approval. She has to learn to feed herself. She will leave. And you will be left with the silence you so expertly crafted. Only this time, it will be your prison, not hers. You thought withholding was a sign of power. You were mistaken. Giving genuine validation requires strength. Withholding is the action of a coward afraid of an equal.